Alright, so this clip was filmed 2 months ago. I had bought this set of rims for 50 a piece, so 200 total. These are G35 Sport Sedan rims. I was debating on these or the duck feet. I went with these because they were cheaper, more common, and lighter. The original plan with these was to get them refurbished, but that was going to cost too much. And then it eventually turned to me wanting to buy already refurbished wheels from a seller, and I just decided that was too expensive as well. And obviously aftermarket like NK wheels were going to be too expensive off the rip since we are on a budget. My other plan as well was to buy two sets of these rims and actually mix match them, because from the factory these came staggered. It was 18 by 7.5 in the front and 18 by 8.5 in the rear. And my plan was to buy two sets of these rims and use all four 8.5s all around the car. That way we can have a square setup and we can do tire rotations and stuff. That way we can have like longer longevity with tires and potentially like better handling as well. But that also did not end up happening. So I ended up buying these. These were in a lot better condition. There were no bends, no cracks, no nothing. Minor, and I'm talking minor curb rash. Only thing that was really wrong with these is that they had worn paint and shitty tires, and all the TPMS sensors worked and they were all OEM. So that was another positive as well. I ended up picking these up for 100 a piece, so I ended up buying them for 400 for the set. Originally I wanted to go with Indy Firehawk 500s or for the wheels, since they are high performance. It's all like summer tires, and since I live in Texas, the temperature doesn't drop that much. But I actually ended up finding an alternative, which was the Kumo Xtas PS31s. They are summer tires as well, but they were $200 cheaper, I want to say. And they were performance summer tires as well, so I ended up choosing those instead of the Indy Firehawk 500s. I also did end up selling those black nasty rims at a loss. At a $100 loss, I ended up selling them for 25 a piece, so that shit sucked. All right, we're finally gonna mount the rims. It's probably been a month since I've gotten these wheels, the G35 Sport rims, and I bought these tires, Kumo Xtas PS31s. Obviously this is a staggered set, so it's 245 in the rear and a 225 in the front, and we're finally gonna mount these up. But we're gonna measure how much the current rims weigh, and then we're gonna measure how much the rear rims entire set weighs and the front rim entire set weighs, because since it's staggered, it's not gonna be the exact same. So right now I'm gonna get my G up in the air. We'll take off the wheels and let's measure them. All right, so now we're gonna weigh them. Saying 44.4 pounds. Let me put it on there again. 43.4. One more time. 43.4. We're gonna assume that they all weigh that much, because all of these have actually worn evenly. So my suspension and my alignment is good. They're all literally all 432nds, and there's no uneven wear at all. So now I'm gonna dismount the old tires on the new rims, and I'm gonna mount the new ones on, and then we're gonna weigh them. All right, so first things first, we're going to remove all the weights off of these. So all these clip-on weights and any sticky weights that are on. Also, another thing to mention, whenever you do decide to buy used rims, make sure you bring a TPMS tool. That way you can check the TPMS sensors. So Infiniti G-Series, and then let's just do 20. Let's do that one. I think it should work regardless. But well, as you can see, 3 of them are battery okay. I think the scan tool is tweaking. I have had issues with this one before, so I think we're okay. I'm gonna just continue on. I know probably a lot of people wouldn't agree with the way I'm doing it, but they're my rims anyways, bro. So I don't like using these hammered on weights, because sometimes they can be really difficult to pull off. Sometimes. There you go. That was easy to take off. I forgot to take out the Schrader valve. This is one of these Schrader tools. See, the Schrader valve. I'm gonna do that for all four. All right, now, you never wanna pop the bead where the TPMS sensor is. Tuck it behind the rim. You can see this was corded, had a lot of inner wear, so they probably had some suspension or alignment issues, whatever vehicle this came off of. And these sidewalls are really stiff. It's crazy too. The people who sold me these, they were trying to sell them for 125 a piece. Hell no, not with these tires. I got lucky with the sensors, and the rims are actually in pretty decent condition. I mean, other than the paint being like just worn down, like it's not even like, the rims aren't even like fucked up, or they don't really have any bends or curb rash. It's just through so many miles, like the paint just starts to wear just due to the rock chips and stuff. All right, now we're gonna break these hoses down. Obviously, depending on the machine, it's gonna be different for every single shot. Ah, holy shit, I've never done that. I squished the fuck out of my hand. So this is what? This is the front. So the 225 is what's gonna go on here. They do have a rotation. Look at that tire lube. That's just dry as hell. You lube this shit up. We don't have the red dot on this. Sometimes tires will have a yellow and red dot. This one does not. Luckily, these have soft sidewalls actually, so they're not gonna be that much of a pain to mount. I can already tell. See? And we're gonna air these up to 33 psi. I'm gonna put the valve core back in. This has like a torquing mechanism in it, so that way you don't over torque the Schrader valve. Damn, I ripped the sticker on this bitch. No. Fuck. No, it is what it is. There you go. Well, these are a little bit more stiffer because they are 245s, so it's a little bit thinner sidewall. Well, that's fucking nice. I broke this shit, so it is what it is. Well, I'm gonna continue. I just won't be able to record real time, but you get the gist. Yeah, so this is the last tire mounted. Now we are going to balance them. Yeah, the rim's not bent or anything. All right, so this is one of the front rims. So 59.6, run it again. 47.4. I don't know why I said 59.6. 47.4. All right, this is one of the rear rims. 48.2. Let me run it one more time. 48.2. All right, so first impressions is they definitely look a lot cooler to me. Oh shit, hell yeah. That shit looks way nicer, bro. And also, I'm almost positive those are hyper silver, whereas these are just silver. You can see how they're just flat silver. But these sport rims are actually hyper silver, so they have kind of like like a glow to them. I'm gonna torque them down and then we'll head over to the 60 to 130 spot in Mexico, and I'll let you guys know at the very end of the video, 60 to 130 time difference, how I feel about them. So yeah. So right now we're gonna take it to a route that I typically do, and I'm gonna see how it feels in real time. So far, comparing these to the ones that I had previously, I honestly feel no difference in road harshness, which makes sense because the front is still the same. It is still a 20 or a 225, I think 55, but it is an 18-inch, so technically I think the sidewall should be smaller, but the rear technically should be a little bit more sensitive because it does have a tighter sidewall, or a thinner sidewall. But honestly, I really feel no massive difference when it comes to the ride quality. It feels just as good as riding on the 17-inch rims. And there's no like additional tire noise, or there's nothing really bad about these tires at all. So far ride quality is just as good as it was before. After doing several passes, my fuel economy is still the same. It actually went up a couple of points just because I was driving really conservatively between runs. You can definitely tell that's a V6 Genesis. I took this same route whenever I did the night drive, but the one time that I really pushed the car like super aggressively on this route, the rear end kicked out twice. Granted, I'm not too sure if it was because of traction. I want to say it was more so because the corner that I was taking dipped down, so you kind of lose traction right there on one of the wheels, and then I shifted at the same time, so the dip plus the shifting kind of made the car unstable, so the rear end ended up kicking out. That happened to me twice, but this time we're gonna see how comfortable I am with pushing this car, because I don't know if I've said this in a video, but I've kind of had this idea about this car, and I honestly feel like you can't push this car that hard. But I mean, I get it. It's a big ass sedan. You know, this thing it's not really that light. It's like 3,700 pounds curb weight. So that's without anything inside of it. So plus me, I'm like 200 pounds. So it probably weighs around 3,800 pounds. So far, so good. Holy shit, dude. Motherfuckers picked the worst time to cross the fucking road. We do have traction control off. Definitely feels more grippy. We're hitting 50 right now. Oh, holy shit. Yo, ain't no way. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It feels a lot better. I feel a lot more confident pushing the car. 140 miles an hour here. G35. Oh, dude. Well, even nah, I know the limit of this car. When it had the 17s, for sure it's better. It's the only reason I feel like I can push it harder. Oh, nah. Yeah, there's no way this shit isn't better. I can guarantee you this shit is way better. I can guarantee you that shit. Now, could you argue, like, what if you just got grippier tires on the 17s? Would it been just as good? It might have been. More than likely, probably. But went with the 18s just because I really wanted more grip in the rear end. Really, because I've launched this car before from a stop. The grip that you have in the rear is not enough. So I still haven't even tried the 0 to 60. I want to see if I can wide open throttle from 0 and see if it hooks. I'd be surprised. I don't think it can, but we'll see. Fuck it, let's try wide open throttle. Okay, you definitely can't do that. I fucking missed that first shift too. That shit hit nasty, bruh. Here we go. I think we can do a little bit more. I don't like doing it over this hump because I'm not trying to damage the underside of my car. I've done that shit enough already. It's just not even lower. See if we can do a little bit more throttle this time. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely hop on the throttle a lot more.
1 week later.
So not really my surprise, the 17s were faster than the 18s, obviously. We had measured the one rim, the 117-inch rim, at 43.4 pounds. And I just kind of assumed that was going to be a similar weight for the rest of them, since they all were worn evenly. They were all the same 32 seconds. This probably is like some slight variation between all four of the original 17s that I had on, but we're just going to say for now. The one that I weighed was 43.4 pounds. Now for the front 18s, it was 47.4 pounds. And then for the rears, it was 48.2 pounds. So it was about a 4 to 5 pound difference between the 17s and the 18s. Adding them all together, we'd probably get a maximum of like 20-pound difference. I did see a difference between the 17 and the 18s when it came to the runs, obviously, because the additional unstrung mass. Yeah, I did 15 runs on the 17s with varying temperatures. I think as high as like 86 and then as low as like 70 something, 76, I want to say. These were all done on separate days. The best run that I got on the 17s was a 17.79 on the 17s for a 60 to 130. The worst was an 18.88, and the average was 18.30 for all the 15 runs on the 17s. Now for the 18s, we did 10 runs. Keep in mind, all of these were done on a full tank of gas, so that way, like there wasn't any weight difference, just the wheels and tires. Nothing changed with the vehicle. It was a full tank of gas through all of these runs. The best being 18.11, the worst being 19.23, and the average was 18.56 for the 18s. So the average gap between the 17s and the 18s is about 0.3 to 0.4 seconds. So we did lose some acceleration, obviously, because we added more unsprung weight. But at this point, it's kind of like, what do you want, right? Do you want the most acceleration that you can get? Then obviously go for smaller rims, lighter rims. I really wanted to feel more comfortable in the corners. That's why I went with the 18s to begin with. And that's why I went with the summer tires too. So in the end, I feel like it was worth it. I actually really like the way the car looks now compared to how it looked before with the 17s. So you guys let me know what y'all think. I want some suggestions on what other mods that I should do for the G. I will be making another video here soon about the budget so far, because I know I haven't really been putting that in every single video. So we're probably going to make a dedicated video here after this one to tell you guys like how much I spent on the car for maintenance and for modification. So this isn't just going to be for mods, but how much I've spent on the car overall. And I guess give like a 6-month review of how it has been owning the G. So I'll catch y'all guys on the next one. I'm out, DB.